Our next type of graph is a pictograph. And I want to show you this one. These are not as common in more advanced levels of math, but they can show up in science or social studies. So I do want to at least cover this one so that you know what it is. So pictograph, here's the example where we have the number of apples sold. And I'm going to give you a key. All pictographs have keys. So above your graph space, or in your graph space, I guess over here in the blank part, I want you to draw a box and go ahead and color that box in. And this is going to be our picture for the pictograph. And this is going to represent, let's use 8 people. So one box is 8 people. And let's go ahead and draw the frame for our graph. So here is, I recommend a straight edge. You want this to be nice and straight. Especially in college level math classes or science, you would want to make sure this is nice and straight. We need to give our pictograph a title. So we're going to call this Children in the Sports League. Now I'm just making these numbers up as we go. So there is no real group of children. This is just imaginary. Okay, so let's put in a row, another row, another row, another row, one more row, and then let's put in, actually this is gonna drive me nuts, so let me fix that so that my rows are all the same. You don't have to do that. I'm just nuts that way. Okay, and let's build in a column. And in the first column, we are going to list, let me go ahead and color. Remember, this is the title. This is the main idea. So if the question said, what is the main idea of this graph? This is where I would look to find that answer. It is not part of the graph, so I'm covering it with highlight. It's the title. Okay, so the first sport that we're going to list is basketball. And then football, soccer, golf, and let's put one more, let's say, actually let's just put 2 more, tennis and bowling. So when you take your children to sign up for a sport, you can choose any one of those sports. And then over here, I'm going to put another column for our totals. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that in this sports league, maybe I'm managing the sports league, and some children come to sign up, and this is how they want to sign up. I'm trying to decide as the manager how many coaches I'm going to need, how many adults in each area. So this is important data for me. So in the first this category, there are 16 children who sign up for basketball. Now remember, we want to make 16 children. This is 8. So how many more do I need? I need another 8. Okay, so there, each box represents 8. 8 and 8 make 16. Football is a very popular sport, so we are going to say that 22 children want to play football. So here we go. There are 8. I should have done 5 and we could count. There, 8 plus 8 is 16. And be careful here. 3 times 8 would be too much. So I don't want to do that. 8 and 8, 16. But 24 would be the total if I did one more box. So what I'm going to do is draw in a box. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Let me try again. You want it to be ideally the same size. Let me try that again. Okay, that's close enough. Now, I don't want to shade it all. I want to shade most of it. So we're going to say, okay, this is, it's over half because we need it to represent 6 people. Because you remember, this is 8. This is 8. And this is 6. 16 plus 6 is 22. So sometimes you're not going to have a whole box. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So 8 and 8 and 6 equal 22. Okay, in the next category, we have soccer. That's a pretty popular one also. So let's go ahead and put 24 kids in that class. So we have 8, 8, that's 16. One more will make the 24. So we are using these pictures to represent groups of 8 children. Golf was not very popular. We had 4 children who wanted to sign up. So remember, we're going to have to adjust the size of the box. Now, I know that 4 is half of 8. So if I make a box, a picture for the pictograph, and I cut that box in half and shade only half of it, we will have our 4. So not the whole box, that would be too much. Tennis, let's put in 8. And then bowling, I'm going to have you to do something here. I want you to draw this picture. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many students are represented by that picture? Well, I have 4 of them, and each one of them is worth 8. So 4 times 8 is 32. Okay. That is a pictograph. If you have a pictograph, you need to understand the key. Make sure you know what that one symbol represents. Okay, here are a couple of questions about the pictograph. Always, I will want to know this. How many students or how many kids signed up? So how would you find that? You can, if you have a calculator, you can add those, that's fine. But if you don't have a calculator, here's another way. Count the full boxes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 times 8 is 96, plus 6 and 4, that's 10. So there were 106 students who signed up. Now you can add that last column, that's fine, but if you didn't see that on the test, a shorter way to do it would be to count the full pictures and multiply, and then add on the partials. Okay, so here's a question for you. If I want to, and I do want you to write this so you'll have this to review. If I want to assign one adult to every 4 kids, because we want this to be a mentoring program where the kids get lots of good attention from the adults and they get to learn things like sportsmanship and the skills. If I want to assign one adult to every 4 kids, how many adults are needed? So how would you go about solving that question or answering that question? How many adults are needed? Well, that's division. Now you could think of it as every one of these full boxes requires 2 adults, because 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I could count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay, that's one way. Plus 6 and 4, we will have to account for that. So you could do it that way, or you can do it with long division. You can take the 106 kids that you have and divide that into groups of 4. So 4 into 10 is 2, with 2 left. A 6 on the bottom here. 4 into 26 is 6 times, with 2 left. So you have 26 adults with 2 kids left over. So 26 adults, but you would still have 2 kids. So you will need 27 adults to make sure that all the children have mentors. So there are lots of questions that you could ask about a pictograph. They can be math questions or they can be science questions. Math and science are brother and sister.